Good morning, sunshines. Callie Carroll here. Welcome. We're going to talk about your instrument. Yes, you have one. You're like, I'm not even musical, Cal. You should hear my voice. Some would call me not musical either, but I do have an instrument, and so do you. So that's what we're going to dive into. But first, we're just going to share something we're grateful for. Share Good Morning Sunshine. I am absolutely grateful for the frosty mornings. Like, I love the change of seasons. This is why I live in Colorado. And I love when everything's just covered with like that little bit of white glimmer that's like shiny and shimmery and iridescent-y all over. That's a word, iridescent-y. So that's my gratitude for this morning, at least one of the million that I've already gone through. And love would to hear yours. Would love to hear yours. Whatever. It's fine. All right, you guys, let's talk about your instrument and whether or not you are playing it. First of all, I have decided to go back and start reviewing a lot of the books that I've read over the last decade again in this like new space of life that I feel like I'm in, because I keep looking for and starting other new books, but not like fully connecting. And I just have this drive to go back. So I was inspired by my reading Zero Limits this morning, which is a conversation about this practice called the Ho'oponopono, which I've talked about before and I can talk about later, but I'm not going to talk about right now. And the conversation of the instruments came up. Good morning, sunshine. Haley, can you hear me all right? Because my mic testing wasn't going so hot. So you'll let me know. Thank you, sunshine. All right. And we were looking at in the conversation that was wrapped around this morning is, whether or not we are operating in our most influential, most meant to be form of ourselves, right? And by that, I mean, each of you have so many things that you could do, right? There are so many ways that you can live your life, and there's so many things that you could be incredible about. Or incredible at. In fact, like we could get incredible at a ton of different things, right? I mean, if you practice enough, if you put in 10,000 hours, you can become great at all sorts of things. But the question is that your thing? Right? If you want to learn how to play the guitar, you're going to be able to learn how to play the guitar. If you practice for 10,000 hours, you are going to be hella good. Okay, that's the rule, right? The 10,000 hours, right? To really become excellent at something. You could be incredible at the guitar, but are you really meant to play the guitar? Is that really what your being is meant for? And I don't know, like it could be like finger structure, ears, the way that you like process things, whatever that is. Like, is this really what you're meant to do? So we can get good at all sorts of things, but are we operating within our instrument? Are we choosing our instrument? I'll give you the example of myself. And this is why this was so, I think, landing with me this morning, is that over the last couple weeks, and probably just week, to be honest, I've been starting to connect more with what is my purpose? What is my instrument? What is next for me? Because I played a lot of instruments in the past, right? I've been a realtor, I've been an entrepreneur, I've started a fitness company, I've taught, like I've done personal training and boot camps and body transformations, and I've done mindset programs and created full on, retreats for women to come together. I've done a lot of different things. I've spoke on stage, I've traveled, I've rose to the top of my MLM that I've been in. And with all of those instruments I've tried on, what is truly my instrument where I am most myself? And how do you identify that? Right? First of all, I don't think it's that easy. The answer in the book probably is gonna be like, of course, it's super simple. Like you just open it, you just like listen. But for most of us, we are so closed off because we have this running dialogue in our head that's telling us what we should or shouldn't do based upon past experiences, beliefs, and comparisons. Right? It's like, well, I don't know if I really want to go back to real estate because, past experiences is that we had the recession of 2008 and then things were really hard. And, I'm comparing to that. Right. I'm comparing to other people. Well, so-and-so and so-and-so is now in the business and they do things a certain way and I could never do it like them, but maybe I do want to try it just to try to compare and to try to compete, or any of my different hats, my instruments that I played in the past. Right. You could go back to those moments of your life and decide, what, I'm not going to do this. I tried it once and I failed. It must not be my instrument. I picked up the saxophone and I played it for a good 5 minutes and I just couldn't find my flow. It must not be my instrument. And the truth is you guys. Again, we can get good at all sorts of things. But my question for you is, where do you feel so natural? In what space? And I'm not saying that it's not difficult, right? I'm not saying it's like challenging. Like, let's say your space might be the gym, completely challenging your body and your physical, pushing your physical limitations. That might be your instrument, and how you can create an area of serving through that space would be the answer. So it doesn't mean that it's easy necessarily, but it means you just feel like weightless when you're doing it. You feel like your truest self. Maybe it's one of those spaces where you can't wipe the smile off your face because you're like, this, when you're done with, you're like, this is what I meant to do. It gets your endorphins going, like you get excited about it. That's a hint towards discovering what your instrument is. And I think life's about discovering it. Like, right. Most people don't go to school and then when they're 18, they're like, all of a sudden like, oh, that's my instrument. Of course, that's what I'm going to play for the rest of my life. And then just like crush it and be, exuberantly happy forever. Most of us try on different instruments as we learn and we grow and we become more aware, and we start to identify who our truest self is. And I have all different ages that watch on Good Morning Sunshine, right? So you're probably, we're in all different stages, right? All different ages, all different stages. And if you're in the stage where you're like, you feel like you're just still trying on instruments, you're just trying on hats, let yourself be in that, right? Let yourself be in that, but make sure that you're connecting to your emotions around the things you're trying, the experiences you're having. Like, really, don't just go through and do it. Don't just get another job and be like, yeah, it's cool. Like, it's even good. Like, I like what I do. That answer, right? Like, I really enjoy what I do. Versus like, holy crap, I wake up and I cannot wait to get out of bed because I want to just spring to what my passion is. That's the pull that when you're in your instrument, you're going to feel. Like you cannot not do it. Like you have to be in it because it makes you so fulfilled. So like, look at the things that you're doing and, not everything's going to fit exactly right, but maybe part of it does. This part feels pretty good. I really like, I'm a teacher. I really like working with kids, but I don't know about the teaching structure. I don't know about, teaching around this subject. Maybe it's going to be more about working with children in a different way. So you can kind of start to see like what pulls you about what you're doing. What pieces of your instrument are you finding as you go through in order to build the full thing? Now, if you've lived a little bit more life and you've tried on quite a few instruments, which is what I would say where I'm at a state of personal reflection right now. And I don't know how long that's going to take. I'm not sure, but I know it takes a lot of quieting and allowing myself to just be without comparing to others what I think I should do, what they think I should do, where I should show up, right? And to my past experiences. Because I get stuck in this place that it's like, oh, but I really want to make sure I'm keeping up with Project Me because I've helped, thousands of people lose weight and show up in a certain space. But is that really my instrument? Is coaching people on their physical appearance, their physical being, my instrument? Right? I can do it. I'm great at it, but is it what I'm meant to be? Because if we all choose to play our instruments, our unique, individual, beautiful instruments, without being like, oh, but I want to be like Haley, I want to be like Eric, like I want to try to do what they're doing, but that's not that's not my route, that's not my journey, then just imagine, right? Like you're at in an orchestra and everybody's playing the rock, you're badass at the oboe, right? But you're over there playing the piccolo and it sounds like shit, right? Doesn't sound, maybe it even sounds decent, but you put all of this together and it's like, it's just a disarray of noise. That's all it is noise. But when we find where we're supposed to be, you guys, everything becomes simple. And the symbiotic sound that we're able to create is absolutely stunning. My encouragement for you today, as I encourage myself, a lot of times I'm talking to myself on these, right? As I encourage myself, is to just reflect upon, are you operating in your instrument? Do you think you found your calling? And a calling is a space of servitude, you guys. It's always a space of servitude. Whether that means that you are the best, most badass target worker, right, Eric? Where you're, if you love your job, you're going and you're doing it. That's you're serving by doing that. Every single time somebody bags a grocery, they're serving, or stacks the soda back, or the grocery shelves, they're serving. People pushing the grocery carts back, they're serving. You're actually serving if you work at a restaurant, like serving the people that are around you. The person who works I was gonna say the librarian. Is there a librarian anymore? That's what came to my mind, you guys. Who's restocking the books? Okay, maybe there are books out there. I'm sure there are libraries. There are, you guys. So the librarian, let's go back, right? And she is serving by providing a service for other people. So all of us, finding our instrument that is within servitude, that makes us smile ear to ear, where we feel like we are effortless and weightless, and diving into what that really feels like for us and what that could possibly be. I'm not saying it's going to be an easy journey, but I think it's worthwhile to take a look at, to really connect with where you're at right now and where you possibly want to be at some point. Because when you do find it, what they tell me, right, is that it's just going to flow and it's just going to come together. And that's what I'm praying for as I go into my Ho'opono practice of, I love you, right? Some of you guys remember this, some of you guys don't. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. And thank you, of starting from a zero state and just falling into my utmost purpose in the world. Okay, you guys, I'm going to go keep self-discovering over here and take a dance class this morning because I can't stop smiling when I do that. I love you guys. If you're committed at the end of this video, just commit to some personal reflection of your instrument. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I hope you have the most outstanding day, you guys. Remember, perspective reveals miracles, and I'll talk at you tomorrow. Bye.